A beginner player Frigg will deal 3 slash, but a pro player will deal a total of 6 slashes. We finally cracked the code, let's get down to it. So before we get to the 6 slash, how do we trigger it? Let's basically talk about the 4 or perhaps 5 reasons why you need to pull for Frigg. Now, I have seen the CN version of Frigg and the global version, and I seen the numbers that she dealt, and she's actually very broken, and I actually prefer the global adjustment. And I don't want to talk about this. Global is its own game. If you're not happy, don't play it. So the number one reason you want to pull for Frigg is basically iframe, right? Iframe meaning that her skill has an iframe. So if I like here, I don't take any damage, as you can see right here. I think I talk about this a lot on my channel already. The second thing is that her Simulacra trait will make her turn golden with a hybrid armor. That means that you won't get knockback. You see? I won't get knockback. I won't get knockback, I won't get frozen, I won't get burned, I won't get paralyzed. So if you're pulling her for PvP reason, right? The grapple is equal to 1 knockdown in the 2.0 version, right? So I'm gonna go in and knock down him. And then followed by the Finbo Winter, which is another knockdown, but he actually has a shield, so he kind of stopped me right there. But yeah, it does work like that for PvP. If you don't have a great basic attack unit or basic attack weapon, then Frigg is going to be your basic attack. All she does is this, and it's actually very fast. Well, in this circle, you can also dodge around to have a higher chance of triggering Fantasia instead of running out of dash, right? And if you're worried about Crow in PvP, people have been going around circle, right? So this is one way to counter Crow. Aside from that, in the global version, she actually has the Ice Resonance, right? So you're going to be pulling her for the Ice Resonance. But of course, out of all the Ice units, she is literally the best at dealing damage. So it's great. We don't know how Zackie-Senpai will work, and I will not talk about any other characters until they get added to the warehouse in the global version. Now let's talk about team build, right? The golden rules of building a team is that you want your endurance character, like you want a shatter, you don't want 2 characters that consume endurance in terms of attacking, you don't want 2 characters that consume dash attack, right? So Tsubasa is gonna do the dash attack to trigger the buff at 1 star, but more preferably at 3 stars so that you don't take a longer time. As for Shatter, because the best is because Maru is because when you summon the Frozen Domain, there's a better chance for Frost Weapon to shatter the shield, right? So Maru here is your breaker, right? She's your breaker. But if you don't have Maru, you can actually go with King, right? You can actually go with King. You want to go with Shiro, go ahead, go with Shiro. You wanted to go with Huma, go ahead and go with Huma. But in terms of Huma and King, King is better with Frigg. Alright, let's talk about the Hyper Armor again, right? The Hyper Armor, I'm not gonna get knocked down around. So this is what, because people complain that King gets knocked around a lot, that makes his shattering impossible to trigger. So I don't care what combo you're gonna do, just do a combo or basically the aerial attack. So go ahead and do whatever you want, but since you have the Hyper Armor inside the Frozen Domain, you won't get knockback, okay? So if you don't have Tsubasa, maybe you can go with Coco as a charger. But again, I don't recommend you, even though her shatters or like her discharge is strong, even in global, I don't recommend it unless you have Zackie-Senpai in the future. I'm pretty sure they will adjust Zackie-Senpai, but I don't think her role, because most of the character roles hasn't changed. So Zackie-Senpai is more of a discharger. So yeah, if you want to discharge fast, Coco could work. Of course, if you want, your future team will look something like this, because Ling, as we all know, the dev has never changed the shatter rate. They have never changed the charge rate of the game. So Ling is a very good charger and a good breaker. If you ever lack it in terms of any element, not just Frigg, I think everyone should just save for Ling, okay? And Frigg and Zackie-Senpai actually has 2 iframe, and I don't think they're gonna change that as well. So Zackie-Senpai is also a great breaker, but not really, okay? Because it lies in her skill. I'm just giving you a little rundown of the future, but I don't want to talk so much as there's gonna be a lot of changes. As for the Relic build, it's very, very simple. I think I swapped to count 1 for you guys is better, because count 1 has a 30-second cooldown, and this is how it's going to work, right? And then this one, the projector, right? Is because if you're pulling her to 1 star or 3 star, you want to try to get the projector, because global is gonna have a little problem getting the frostiness. But so long as you have built it 1 time, right? If you build it 1 time with the clone, it shouldn't be a problem, right? It shouldn't be a problem. So you can actually do the dash attack and gain the frostiness a lot more faster in this term. And as you can see, the Frozen Domain will... Sorry. Let's kill him first. So as you can see, the Frozen Domain will last 25 seconds. I have Hyper Armor for 25 seconds. So by the time it reached 5 seconds left in the cooldown, my frozen domain will disappear. That's when I use the count, right? That's when I use the count for against PvE. That way I won't get knocked down, I won't get knocked back, but I will not suggest you to attack the enemy at this state, okay? And then you can summon the frozen domain again, you have the hyper armor again. Now this is more of a PvE build. Now let's talk about the reason why I have 6 slash, but it's basically because of the matrices I have known as Huma, right? I'm gonna explain a little bit. So I actually have 6 slash, and if I remove it, to prove it to you, if I remove it over here, I remove it, I only have 3 slash. What is Fuma's 2-piece set? Let's take a look. So I can see, as you can see right here, 2-piece set of Fuma, hitting target with dodge skills, and who can dodge infinitely? It's Frigg. She can dodge infinitely as long as she's in her frozen domain. And every time she hits something, it deals a bleed. It inflicts a debuff that is known as bleed, dealing damage equal to 15%, 19%, 22.5% or 26% of attack every second for 5 seconds, right? So we're gonna try to make the target bleed. Dash attack, attack, boom. If he starts bleeding for 5 seconds, 3, 4, 5. 5 seconds of bleeding. In order to understand this, I put out a graph over here. So as we know, the multi-slash triggers 3 hit with a total damage of 143.9% scaling for your elemental attack. But these individual 3 hit are all considered a dash attack. Yes, there's actually 3 dash attack being produced, and meaning that the first dash attack that hits the target is actually 3% because it lasts for 5 seconds, right? The first bleed should be 3 seconds. So as you can see right here, you're not seeing a double multi-slash. You're actually seeing the bleed. Some of them are actually the bleed, and yes, the bleed will be the bleed can be critical, and the bleed focus on your elemental attacks, right? Like you bleed from ice if you use ice and stuff, something like that. So if it looks something like this, if I keep doing it, it's 6 slash, 6 slash, 6 slash, 6 slash, 6 slash. It may sometimes. I'm sorry. 6 slash, 6 slash, 6 slash, 6 slash, right? So people might argue, should I use Crow? Should I use Samir? We have compared all those damage during the live stream from all of you. It's because of you guys discovered you guys were so observant that you guys discovered a 6 slash. It was actually people even compared to Shiro. None of them can compare to Fuma's damage, right? None of them can compare to Fuma's damage. Her bleeding is the best. However, there are better options. As you can see, Huma will trigger bleed every time she do a dodge attack, a fleet bleed, dealing damage, blah 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 blah. And we have Crow over here. If you ever deal a crit damage, and it's so easy for Frigg to deal it's so easy for Frigg to deal a critical because she does 3 slash if you're not using Fuma, right? So her chances is high there. Right now you guys cannot build critical rate, but I can in the CN version. So what happens is you build 4-piece set of Crow. Crit deals additional damage over time. So if you deal a crit, you trigger a debuff that will take damage over time for the enemies for 18, 22%, 26, 30%. The skill is not much. The skill is not much. Of attack every second for 5 seconds. So it's the same, it works the same way as Fuma, but I would recommend pairing 2 Huma, 2 Samir, or 2 Huma, 2 Crow, which is because it increased the critical damage for less than 60%. So it's up to you. The budget build for F2P is 2 pieces of Huma, and then anything else, 2 Crow, 2 Samir, is really up to you. But if you're talking about Frigg over here, Frigg 4-piece. We'll take a look at 4-piece since we're talking about the damage over time. When unleashing a frost domain with the weapon BALMUNG, enemies within the frost domain receive frost damage over time equal to 55% or 85% of frost attack every second, so long as they are in the frozen domain. But I think in the live stream you all seen already that a lot of boss actually don't stay in your frozen domain. If they do, then it's great. So Frigg is like the whale version of this damage over time. Crow is also if extremely lucky or small spender, and then Huma is more of a F2P build, okay? So matrices wise, I honestly reckon 2 Huma or 2 Crow. I cannot test this. I cannot test out whether 4 Crow or 2 Huma, 2 Crow is better. So there you have it. That is the rotation, the team build, and the recommended matrices. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Zackie-Senpai here, and A is Just Gaming Channel, and I truly appreciate all of you for the 20,000 subscribers, and we will be doing a giveaway very soon. To check out for that video. I'm not really good with this. Bye!